Good afternoon and welcome to the Archie Browning Arena in beautiful downtown Esquimalt, BC. My name is Bruce Renwick, Curl BC Competition Manager, and I'll be here to commentate this game for you. We had a slight delay with another fire alarm this afternoon. Must be cooking hot dogs again downstairs in the kitchen, but we're just finishing up Brent Pierce's practice this afternoon, and soon we'll have his draw to the button for you live. We look forward to a great game this afternoon between these two teams who have met many times over the years. Brent Pierce of Royal City in New Westminster versus Jason Montgomery of Victoria. Brent won the 2022 BC Championship and lost the 2023 final to Team Gauthier. He'd love to claw his way back for another Brier, but he'll need to bring his A game this afternoon against Team Montgomery. We have the Montgomery team from the Victoria Curling Club with third, Chris Bear, second, Miles Craig, and lead, Troy Cowan. On Brent's team from the Royal City Curling Club, Cody Johnson is playing third for him. Tyler Kleibrink from Calgary is an import player that was just added to the team last week, and Nicholas Umbach will be playing lead stones for Brent. We look forward to a great game this afternoon. Remember to go online and get your daily 50-50 tickets. The pots have been great this week. You can get them by going online at curlbc.ca/daily5050/. The money's raised for these from these 50-50 draws support curling in the Greater Victoria area. Please sign on and let's grow that pot. While we have a little break here, we'd really like to extend our thank you to our great ice making team, Mike Merklinger and Cody Hall of the Victoria Curling Club. Mike is our Curl BC head ice technician and is extremely experienced. The players have had fantastic ice all week long, and the shot making has been unbelievable. We'd also like to extend our thanks to the City of Esquimalt, the Greater Victoria Tourism, and the arena staff here who have gone above and beyond the call of duty every time they were asked. Thank you very much. Brent's assuming the position in the hack to hold the broom for Nicholas Umbach, who will be throwing the draw to the button to determine hammer. Nicholas Umbach's draw to the button comes up a little bit short, so Jason Montgomery's team will throw the last stone in the first hand. It looks like this Victoria team, the Jason Montgomery team, has brought the crowds out today. The stands are the fullest they've been all week, and we look forward again to a great game this afternoon. Nicholas Umbach about ready to throw the first stone of the game as soon as the official gives him the cue. Brent playing fairly conservative, calling for a draw just to the top of the 4 foot, which Nicholas puts in perfectly. Looks like the two teams are just going to explore the ice a little bit during the first end and not get too many rocks into play. Troy Cowan's first stone, delivered with a hit, rolled to the opposite side of the house, but moves the rock around a little bit for Brent's next shot. Nicholas Umbach just throwing a controlled hit. Rocks are quite a bit of movement this week on the stones. Again, rolling over to another spot to explore the ice over that area. Troy Cowan delivers his second stone. Sweeper's just cleaning. Very nice throw. Throwing second stones for Brent's team is Kyler Kleibrink, was just added to the team this past week, an import from Calgary, son of Shannon Kleibrink. It may have been a little tighter. The Broomer's working hard on this one to hold it straight. Clean. Well swept by Brent's front end. Miles Craig from Victoria, long-time curler around this area, won many championships, and has curled for Jason for many, many years. Hit and roll out by Miles. This allows Brent to find his, Kyler to find his draw weight for Brent on this shot. It's always nice to throw a few draws in the first end just to get the feel of where the weight is at. Sweeper's just cleaning a little bit, so very, very close with weight by the looks of things. Nerves always come into play, but both these teams are very experienced, so I'm sure we're going to see some great shot making this afternoon, and I'm sure after this end that they'll get a lot more aggressive. Just a straight peel by Miles, well delivered. Throwing third stones for Brent Pierce's team is Cody Johnson from the Royal City Curling Club. Brent again calling it to the top of the 4 foot. I think you'll just see both these teams and then just blank on the last rock is what they're the outcome that they would like to see in this first end. Cody Johnson, formerly of Northern Ontario, delivering his second stone for Brent. Just a hit and roll out. Nice clean house again. Both teams just exploring the ice a little bit this first end, not wanting to get anything too complicated. Chris Bear settles into the hack for his shot. Brent not wasting any time, delivering his stone quickly in the first end. That time becomes valuable later in the game. Good delivery, nose hit, right in the middle of the house. Sure, Jason would love to just hit and roll a little bit just to change the spot in the ice that Brent will have to throw his last rock at. Might be a little tight. This one seems to be moving on him quickly. Ooh, just not quite out of the house, which will allow Brent to split the rings and force Team Montgomery to take 1 point in the first end. Looks like Brent may have come up a little bit short here. The sweeper's working hard on this one. Maybe panicking a little bit because he's right on the tee line. Jason Montgomery calling for a nose hit so that he will be hopefully taking 1 point on the first end. Looking for a little cleaner throw on this one from Jason. He got the last one going maybe a little bit and just ticked Brent's and didn't get it out of the house. Just cleaning for 1 point in the first end for Team Montgomery. Jason a little frustrated with himself with not getting that first stone out of the house. A little bit of a broom tap there. I'm sure he's not happy with his first throw in that end, but Troy Cowan settles in for a center guard just off the rings. Again, Brent and Jason have played so many games against each other in these high competitions. We expect a tight game from the two veterans, and the winner of this moves on to the semifinal tonight and plays Jeff Richard from Kelowna Curling Club. So it looks like Brent's going to, Team Pierce will try to get things going this year, or this end. He's calling for a corner guard from his lead, Nicholas Umbach. A long corner guard, but something that Brent will be able to use later on in the end. Jason Montgomery calling for a center guard now. Rock delivered by Troy Cowan. Calling for one into the house this time around that center guard that was just delivered by Troy Cowan. Looks good. Tyler Kleibrink just cleaning it a little bit on and off. Craig will just try to freeze to this one. Weight looks good. Again, the ice has been spectacular all week. The shot making has been fantastic, and we expect to see the same this afternoon. Brent calling for a hit and roll for Tyler Kleibrink. He'd just love to hit and roll and get this one onto the rings if possible. On and off with the sweepers, very close. Nice control weight. With the scratching of the rocks, that should curl back into the house. Great shot by Kyler. Miles Craig throwing a second stone at the end. Jason calling for a little hit to roll in behind. Just control weight. Finishing nicely here for him. Good control shot. Team Pierce calling for a hit and roll in front of the other red stone. A little more weight on this one. Working it hard to keep it straight, keep it off that guard. Looks good, little curl. They're going to go the other way and try to roll it in behind that guard now. Overcurled a little bit on Kyler, but they made the best of the shot. Jason calling for a hit and roll into the middle, trying to get the play away from that corner guard. First stone for Chris Bear this end. A little hit and roll to the middle, trying to group things into the center of the house to make things a little more difficult for Brent to try to remove. I'm sure we'll start to see he's thinking about making a play on those center stones. This shot's all about repositioning the rocks so that later in the end they can try to get their 2 points. First shot for Cody Johnson. Cody lost the final of the 2009 Canadian Junior Championship on the final shot by Brent Gallant while playing with his brother Dylan Johnston. Just a soft weight shot. They're just trying to rattle things around and roll it to a good spot in the house in behind that red. He got a little bit thin, not the result that they wanted. I think Team Pierce expected a little bit more curl on that shot. Good opportunity for Jason Montgomery to get a little inside hit, centerline side on the red, get rid of that blue and roll his other red in behind the guard that's at the top of the 12. It's close. Lost his one at the back of the 4, but that's not a bad thing. Brent will not be able to come down and freeze to that rock later on in the end. Good positioning of the stones for Team Montgomery at this point in the second end. Team Pierce calling for a hit and roll in front of the other red stone that's in the house by Cody Johnston. Little thinner than he wanted. He's going to roll out completely. This should allow Jason Montgomery to either guard that one that's in the 8-foot or possibly tap the one that is in the top of the 12 back to the tee line area. That looks like what he's going to call. He does want to tap this back too far to leave Brent a double on the other stone that's on the left-hand side of the house. Wants to move this back about 3 or 4 feet at the very most. Weight must be close. The sweepers are just keeping it clean. Expecting it to break here soon. Troy Cowan working hard on the curl side. Nice little tap back. Maybe a little bit far. This may allow Brent to hit the one on the left of the house and roll over on top of that one, or possibly even double the two. I'm sure you would just love to hit and roll on top of the red. Make the removal of that stone harder for Jason. So Brent is indicating just the hit and roll to that spot. Jason Montgomery is very capable of throwing extremely high hard weight, so even if he runs that red back into it, he should be able to clean things up this end. Brent Pierce settling in the hack for his shot, calling for a hit and roll over on top of the red one that's on the right-hand side of the house. Sweeper's on it right away, trying to keep it straight. It's close, not quite enough. This will give Jason Montgomery a chance to hit this stone and force Brent Pierce into taking 1 point in the second end for a tie game. Indicating the nose hit, which will force Brent to draw against 3 red stones. Again, 2 very veteran skips playing against each other this afternoon. On the wave by Jason Montgomery. Sweeper's working it hard. They may have been fooled on the ice again on this one. Beautiful roll. So Team Pierce forced to draw to the 4-foot for a single point in the second end. Ice looks quick for timing this rock. Sweeper's on and off. Got a 15 1/4, so the ice is very, very quick. Great weight, right to the tee line, 15 1/4. So 1-1 after 2 ends. Both teams have had time to explore the ice a little bit. I'm sure that we're going to start to see some rocks in play and a little bit more of an interesting end. Remember to get your daily 50/50 tickets, which helps support the curling in Greater Victoria. You can get those tickets by going online at curlbc.ca/daily 50/50 /. Let's build that pot and support curling in the Greater Victoria area. So the 50/50 pot, I've just been told, is at $1,280 and building. The winners' take-home shares this week have been anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500. Log on, let's build that pot. So Nicholas Umbach asks for a center line guard just off the rings. Troy Cowan settles into the hack. Here we go. So now we're going to get some rocks in play. Jason Montgomery calling for a come around to the top of the 4-foot. Sweepers just keeping it clean on and off, very, very close at the weight. Should start breaking here. The finish has been fantastic all week again. Kudos to Mike Merklinger and Cody Hall, who have provided the athletes with a fantastic surface to make some beautiful shots all week long. Team Pierce calling for a freeze to the top of that stone by Nicholas Umbach. Sweepers just keeping it clean on and off. Maybe it looks like it might be a little bit quick. Coming down nicely now. Great shot by Nicholas. Good freeze. We should see a little bit more interesting end. We're starting to get rocks in play now. Again, the first couple ends, they just explore the ice. Now we should see some more rocks in play and a little bit more interesting ends. Sweepers keeping it clean, just going to finish it up nicely now. Two good stones, 4 good stones by the leads on both teams. The crowd very appreciative. Brent calling for another shot by Kyler, just a freeze to that grouping in the house. I'm sure at some point we're going to see that center guard run back in there hard. Rattled them around a little bit of a bump, which starts to separate those stones and makes it a little bit easier to remove a number of them on the same shot. Oh, again, Jason just calling for a nice little touch shot by Miles Craig. Just backline weight, hoping to move that blue stone to the back of the rings and then roll in behind that center guard. Looks nice. Trying to work a little bit more curl with the broom. Again, rattling those stones around a little bit, starting to get a little bit separation on them. I'm sure that we're going to see some heat come down here on one of these stones soon to clean things up out of the 4-foot area. Team Pierce calling Kyler Kleibrink for a freeze into that area to make it a little more complicated. Sweepers calling full 4. Nice touch by Kyler, throwing another one into that pocket. Miles Craig settling into the hack for his second stone of the end. Jason again just calling for that back house type of weight, trying to reposition, rattle stones around. Oh. Nope, we're going to see a high hard one from Miles. It slams into that pocket and removes a few of the stones to make things a little less complicated for him later in the end to ensure that he does score. Good result. So now Team Pierce laying shot buried in on the button area, calling for a little hit and roll off that red one into those stones that are in the 4-foot. He doesn't want to get too many red stones laying around that may come back to haunt him later in the end. Very. Again, two very experienced teams doing battle this afternoon that have played each other many, many times through the years in these championships. Chris Bear is calling for a peel off the front guard stone. Now calling for a hit by Cody Johnston just to clean things up out of the 4-foot area. Hoping to stick another blue one in there to remove a couple of the reds. Chris Bear settling in for his second shot of the end. Team Montgomery calling for a hit on the top blue in the 4-foot, roll in front of the other blue that is just fighting the 12-foot on the tee line. A little thinner than he wanted. Seems that Team Montgomery, the ice is fooling them a little bit. They've had a little more curl and a few shots than they expected. This will allow Team Pierce to throw a center guard, 2 in the house. Pretty good position late in the second end or third end. So again, 15 and a quarter on Brent's last draw in the second end to the tee line. So we should see somewhere around a 17-second draw for a guard. Tight to the rings. Sweeper's just keeping it clean. Brent following it down, watching the line. Just slid into the rings. Can't quite see whether a nose hit will keep Jason's rock in the house. Again, if he did make that shot, I'm sure that Brent would just split the rings and force Jason to draw for his 1. Okay. Jason Montgomery calling for a run back double on the one that's at the top of the 12-foot. Again, Jason very capable of throwing big weight very accurately. Routine double, hangs onto the house, but again, Brent is shot, Team Pierce is shot. He'll just split the rings, and then Jason Montgomery will be forced to draw for his 1. Over on sheet B, we have the ladies 3-4 game, which is being broadcast on Czech TV and CBCSports.ca. We have a very tight game going on between Team Grandy and Team Brown. Sorry, between Team Ryan and Team Bowles. Team Ryan scoring 3 in the second end for a 3-0 lead. Brent is trying to split the rings. He'd love to be on the tee line, so the rocks are laddered across the house. A little bit deep, but Jason Montgomery, second shot. Jason Montgomery will have to draw to the 4-foot to take his single point in the second end. Oh, Jason electing to hit the stone on the nose to take his point. One thing you don't want to do early in the game is test your draw weight against a couple points. Much easier to ensure that he does score 2, or does score his single point, and doesn't have Brent steal 2 points against him by coming up draw light on his draw. Jason will just be throwing a nice control weight here, let his sweepers control it. Just clean, good throw. Again, they've been caught on the curl a couple times, so they are working this hard to hold it straight. And it did over curl, steal of 1 for Team Pierce. Team Montgomery has been fooled a couple times on the amount of curl, the late finish on the ice this afternoon, and that one cost them a point. So Team Pierce up 2-1 after 3 ends. That does allow Team Montgomery to take a point in the 4th end on the even ends, which is always nice to have control of in a 10-end game. We may see Team Pierce just go to the top of the forefoot here and see how Jason wants to play this 4th end. Nicholas Umbach delivering the stone. Team Pierce asking for a draw to the top of the 4. Very similar to the way the 3rd end started, with Nicholas Umbach going to the top of the 4. Jason Montgomery calling for a corner guard. The crowd continuing to stream into the arena. The best attendance so far this week for this afternoon's game. Tonight, of course, we've got the men's and the women's semifinal. I'm sure we'll see a great crowd out for that one. Nice corner guard by Troy Cowan. Team Pierce calling for a center line guard by Nicholas Umbach. Sweepers keeping it clean. Must be very close. Two very nice stones by Nick Umbach. Now Jason Montgomery calling Troy Cowan to freeze to the one on top of the forefoot. Line looks good. A little lighter than they wanted, I believe. Oh, going to slide in there nicely. Kyler Kleibrink being asked to freeze, corner freeze on that red one that just delivered by Troy Cowan. Jason Montgomery contemplating his options. Just a little tap on the blue being asked for Miles Craig. Rattle things around a little bit. Sweeper's working it hard. A little bit less weight than they wanted to see, but it should come on a nice angle on the blue. Team Pierce eyeing up the angles, contemplating where they'd like to place this stone. Team Pierce asking for a corner freeze on the red stone that's at the top of the 8-foot. Line looks good. Sweeper's working it hard. Nice weight by Kyler Kleibrink. Overcurled maybe a little bit more than they would like to see there. Jason Montgomery just asking for a straight peel. Possibly asking for a peel on that blue with a little tick on the red and hopefully rolling his shooter into the house. Just a straight peel, which will bring the play into the house. No, Brent Pierce elects to put another guard back where that one was. Feels his angles on the rocks in the house are pretty good, so we'll just clog it up again and see what Team Montgomery would like to do with it. Johnson throwing a nice center guard tight to the rings. We may see Jason Montgomery call for this one to be slammed into that pile. At some point, we're going to have to rattle those ones that are in the lineup and on top of the 4-foot around a little bit. Brent, Team Pierce's shot rock. Don't want to wait too long into the end. Team Montgomery indicating a little hit and roll off that one in the red. Off the red rock that's in the 4-foot, to remove that blue shot rock and roll another one in behind cover of his red stone. Chris Bear just looks like about half weight coming down here. Sweeper's working it hard. Rattled things around a little bit, and it may have created an angle for Brent where he can hammer that center guard back into the pile, eliminate both the red stones, and have blue sit a bunch. No, he's selecting just to guard it. Team Pierce would be happy stealing another point to go up 3-1 in the fourth end. Guard on the way by Cody Johnston. Cody also skipped the Northern Ontario 2011 men's junior team at the M&M Canadians in Calgary. Very accomplished junior career for Cody Johnston, throwing third stones now for Brent Pierce. The angles on the rocks in the house don't favor Team Montgomery here late in the fourth end. Chris Bear, one shot left, so 3 stones left for Team Montgomery in this fourth end. Team Pierce sitting shot on the button, and the angles in the house definitely favor Team Pierce at this point. I'm sure we'll see a little bit of heat come down here. Calling Chris Bear to slam that blue guard just thrown by Cody Johnston into the pile. Things have to be, it's getting late in the end, so they have to change things around. Definitely changes things around in the 4-foot, makes it a little more advantageous to the Montgomery team now. Definitely cleaned it up and should give him some sort of a shot on his last one, hopefully in this end. So Team Montgomery laying first and third stones now. Brent Pierce trying to remove the red and just roll slightly. I'm sure that he doesn't want to roll too far, so that he is at least first and second shot after this throw. Just a control weight hit. You really want to control how far that they roll. Over curling a little bit. Knocked the one out of the back of the 4-foot. This should allow Team Montgomery to hit and roll and lay 2. Jason would love to score 2 points in an even end here and take control of the game early. But again, lots of stones to come. Judging by the ice, it should just be a nice control hit for Jason Montgomery here. He'd like to roll behind his red stone, but again, just stay in the 8th foot so that he has second shot. Sweeper's on it right away. Clean, on and off clean, so he's got to be very close. Just trying to control the roll, put it exactly where they want it. Great shot. Nice finesse shot by Jason Montgomery. Well called by Chris Bear, and his sweepers perfectly swept. Brent Pierce lining up his options. It's like he's contemplating running that blue one back and maybe making the doubles on the reds. Definitely the shot thrown by Chris Bear, the angle, run back into the pile, changed the complexion of the whole end. Again, the 50-50 pot is starting to build. We're $300 higher than the last time I told you we're at $1,760. You can go online at curlbc.ca/daily 50/50/. Pots have been fantastic all week. Winners take home has been between $1,000 and $1,500 every day. Settling in for his last shot at the end, electing to hit the red stone. Jason Montgomery an open draw for his second point. Take a 3-2 lead after 4 ends. Again, keeping those evens ends, which in a 10-end game is very, very important. Jason Montgomery settling into the hack to deliver this draw. Has to be full 8 foot to get a second point. Sweeper's just cleaning. Line's good. Needs to come up a little bit to get by that card. Looks great. Oh, slid a little bit far. So a 2-2 tie after 4 ends, with Team Pierce having the hammer in the 5th end. Little bit of a mistake by Jason Montgomery there. The sweepers thought it was fine, just cleaning, and it slid a little bit far. The ice has been very quick all week long. Tough to judge those sometimes. Once again, the winner of this game will play in tonight's semifinal against Team Richard, who lost this morning to Team Schneider in the 1-2 game of the Page playoff system. Team Schneider will be in the final tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m. They'll practice tonight and keep themselves nice and loose, get ready for the final tomorrow. First rock of the 5th end being delivered by Troy Cowan. Nice center guard, just off the center line. So Brent could remove that when it comes to the our ticket off. We are playing the no tick rule in this championship, as they will be playing at the Briar this year. Team Pierce calling for a come around by Nicholas Umbach. Just wants to be into the 12-foot, top 12 buried if he can. Great judgment with some late finish. It popped out the other side. Jason Montgomery calling Troy Cowan to come down and freeze, so that one just thrown by Nicholas Umbach. Sweepers keeping it clean, just keeping it moving. It's much easier to get on the rock early. A little bit lighter than they expected. Team Pierce asking Nicholas Umbach to draw another one around into the top of the 4-foot behind those two staggered red guards. Sweepers working it right to the top of the 4, fully buried. Nice shot. So Miles Craig being asked to corner freeze onto that one just thrown by Team Pierce. Sweepers working this one hard. Just again a little bit light by Team Montgomery. Starting to get quite a pile of red stones on that center line just outside of the house. Team Pierce having the hammer. Wants to clean up those center guards. No, on second thought, he's going to bring another one in behind. and let Team Montgomery deal with the staggered guards that are around the center line just at the front of the house. First one at the end for Kyler Kleibrink. Sweeper's working it hard. Hoping to get another one tucked in behind. The top 4-foot area would be great. Very nice stone. Angles are pretty good on those two reds, so Jason Montgomery asking Miles Craig to throw some weight and run those reds back into that one that was just thrown by Kyler Kleibrink to the top of the 12-foot. Cleans things up a little bit. Not quite the result they wanted. They still have staggered red guards. Team Pierce laying 3 in the house in the 5th end with the hammer. With those guards being staggered at the front of the house, Team Pierce is elected to draw another one around, asking Kyler Kleibrink to pull another one into the top of the 8-foot in behind those staggered red guards. The runbacks on the reds are not in Montgomery's favor. So Team Pierce will try to take advantage and clog that house up a little bit more. Blue possibly sitting 4 with the hammer after this shot. Looking for that late finish. Cody Johnston trying to nurse it in there. Nice shot by Kyler. Possibly a little bit deeper than he wanted. We may see Jason make a play on that one that's in the 12-foot. He may play a little bit softer shot and try to come around and hit the one that's in the 8-foot and just try to roll on top of that one just thrown. Definitely there are some options there for some heat if he wants to try to remove things, but I don't think his angle's good on that one just thrown by Kyler Kleibrink. I believe that it's going to just jam square on there and leave blue sitting at least 2 in behind those staggered guards again after this shot. So Team Pierce definitely with the advantage in this end. But I'm pretty sure we're going to see some heat and get some rocks moving on this one. Chris Bear discussing the shot with his sweepers down here at the home end. Not quite sure what the final call was. Looks like hack weight. So they're just going to come down, and I believe they're looking at hitting one. Oh, team meeting called. Cody Johnson also sliding down at the same time to discuss his options with his skip Brent Pierce. Well, the Montgomery team discusses their options. Possibly talking about a freeze on top of the one in the 4-foot, which would be a good call. It would take a lot of those blue stones out of the mix, and force Team Pierce to make some sort of move on the red stone that would be frozen on top of the one in the 4-foot. After the discussion, they've decided to throw some heat and see if they can't remove some of those blue stones that are in the house. Again, Brent Pierce having the hammer in the 5th end. Team Montgomery is in a little bit of trouble. We're only halfway through the end, but it's time to get rid of some of those blue ones. Chris Bear delivering a little heat on this one. Trying to come off the inside of that blue. Oh, just a little redirect. Got almost lucky and got one of them removed at the back of the house. And the red rolled over into the 12-foot for 3rd shot. But again, Team Pierce laying 2 behind staggered red guards on the center line, electing for Cody Johnston to come in and freeze another one into that pocket and put Team Montgomery under some extreme pressure with just only 3 rocks remaining here in the 5th end. Sweepers nursing this, should have some late finish here. Very nice stone. Hung out there a little bit. You can see a little piece of it, but not enough to, I don't believe you can get enough of it to get both of them. Electing, it looks like back 12-foot weight, just again to try to get that late finish and rattle those blue ones around a little bit. He won't be shot rock after this, but his red will be in a nice position with some options for later on Jason's last 2 shots at the end for the red team. Last rock for Chris Bear on this end. Again, just trying to rattle those blues around. They're looking for some late finish so that they can get as close to the nose of that blue one. Trying to knife it over there with their broom. Not quite the finish they wanted. I'm sure we'll see Brent try to come down and just roll off the inside of that red one and reposition. He may elect to guard here too. He is sitting 2. Might be happy with his 2 points in the 5th end. Calling for Cody Johnson just to come in and breeze another one around behind those staggered guards to the top of the 4-foot. Not too concerned with the red that's beside the blue that Chris Bear just threw. The angles must be so that the 2 blues jam on each other. Looks like that one must have kicked. They're staying out there just a little bit extra weight, and they didn't get the finish that they wanted. Again, we can't see the angles from this end, but it must be that the blue will just jam square on that back blue that's in the 4-foot. So Jason Montgomery weighing his options. I think with the back 4-foot, back 8-foot weight with the late finish, he may be able to get to the inside of that blue stone that is in the 4-foot and able to come off that onto the other one that's at the back of the 4 and just sit for shot rock there. Nice quiet weight touch shot coming up here for Jason Montgomery. Jason very capable of throwing the big weight, but also for a big guy, very, very capable of these touch shots. Very close. Chris Bear asking for the curl, working hard on it. Troy Cowan working hard on it straight. Very, very close. Great shot by Jason Montgomery. Just a cold draw to the 1 in the 4 foot, sit on the button, buried behind the staggered guard. The local crowd going wild. Very nice to see the local Victoria crowd out supporting their teams. We had quite a number of them in the championship this weekend. It's been some fantastic curling all week long. Very supported by the crowds. So Team Pierce, he's going to come around the guards and just tap his blue one onto that one thrown by Jason Montgomery. Try to tap him to the back of the 4 foot and leave himself sitting free again. It is corner frozen on the blue, but with the right weight, I think Brent should be able to rattle him around, tap that red one back into the 8 foot area, leave his shooters sitting fairly close to being a guard, and Jason will have a tough shot on his last shot. Not quite the result he wanted. They were trying to keep it straight, and then they're calling hard for the curl at the end. Red still sitting shot rock after that great draw by Jason Montgomery on his first stone. Looking closely at the angles to see where their best option on their last shot will be. Again, Team Pierce having the hammer, lots of blue stones around the 4 foot area, but that one lonely red one being the shot stone right on the button. Again, as they eye up those shots, we're going to have a look at the ladies' game. And over in the ladies' game, we have Team Ryan up 4-1 at the 5th end break over Team Bowles. Both those teams came off 3 game days yesterday, but I'm sure that they're more than happy that they were playing those 3 games. Well, that 50-50 pot is growing fast. $2,220 now. That's $1,100 to the winner. The draw will be tonight at 9 o'clock. So province-wide draw 50-50, curlbc.ca/daily 50-50. / sign on. Let's build that pot and support curling in the greater Victoria area. So Jason has just elected to draw another one down into that pot. and try to prevent Brent from scoring any more than one, and hopefully lining it up well so that Brent doesn't have an option to score anything, and Jason can steal one and go ahead 3-2 at the fifth end break. Sweeper's working it hard. Great shot. I think Brent's going to be in tough to try to get his single point here. Team Pierce in the fifth end, eyeing up his options if he has any. That red one's fully buried right on the button. Looking at his options with Cody Johnson to see if that blue can possibly score here, but looking at what he can throw. Looks like he's going to try to come thin off that one that's in the 12 foot at the top of the house, that red stone, and redirect into the pot. Possibly, if he hits it right, that will be the only way that he can get into that hole and pop that red one out, possibly score 2 or 3 here. Settling into the hack for his normal routine. Got some weight coming down. He just wants to redirect, just tick off of that. Oh, he just missed. Oh, a steal of 1 by Team Montgomery for a 3-2 lead after 5 ends. We'll be right back after the break.
When we backslide it out, it's also
Yeah. Yeah, well, I thought they had an 8. Well, it said 8. Like, I thought it was
8.
Yeah, it was 8. Yeah. Those are running. So that's been what it was. So that was sheet C was Chester. This side was slow, right?
See this?
The second one, I thought it was. Since we've switched absolutely not.
3 minutes and 28 seconds.
Is that a 3? You gotta get this.
I got my
I thought you were one of them. That's why my calls it. It's like where's Walden with a black shirt.
See the hands on there.
Let's make it shots.
Alright. Lots of time.
Why is it 7 minutes? 7?
It's 2 more matches. I'll tell you. And they do some.
As the teams make their way back onto the ice for the sixth end, we'll have a quick peek over at the ladies' game where we have Team Ryan playing Team Bulls in the sixth end with a 4-1 lead. Team Ryan having beat the local team Reese Hansen last night in a tiebreaker to get into this 3-4 game against Team Bulls, who was the third place team. Of course, in the 1-2 game this morning, Team Grandy beat Team Brown again. They beat them quite handily in the round robin and seemed to be fine in the 1-2 game. The winner of the Ryan Bulls game will be playing tonight against Team Brown, with the winner advancing to tomorrow morning's 9 a.m. final against Team Grandy on Czech TV and cbcsports.ca. Again, the 50-50 pot is now almost $2,500. You can go on to curlbc.ca/daily5050/ and help support curling in the greater Victoria area. So the team's back on the ice now. Jason. Jason Montgomery, after that steal in the 5th end to go up 3-2, elects to put one right on the button to start the 6th end. Team Pierce electing for Zombach to throw a nice corner guard. We should see some rocks in play, I would suspect, by Team Pierce trying to get his 2 back in the 6th end and take the lead. Asking it for it right on the British Columbia logo. Again, thank you very much to our sponsors who have helped to put this event on. The teams have had a fantastic week of curling here. The arena staff has been wonderful. The organizing committee, we can't say enough about the volunteers that have helped make this championship what it is. Couldn't be done without them. We had 175 plus volunteers helping through the week. It is a big event in an arena. Troy Cowan throwing a nice center guard on top of the one that he delivered on the button. Team Pierce now electing to come around and freeze to that one on the button and get things going. Nicholas Umbach throwing his second shot of the end. Brent Pierce asking him for a freeze on the one on top of the button. The perfect shot is to be square frozen on top of it. Sweeper's working it hard. Looks like it may overcurl a little bit. Great shot. Square frozen. Jason Montgomery asking Miles Craig, delivering his first stone of the 6th end, to corner freeze on that blue stone, start to create some angles. Sleeper's trying to hold it straight, close. Corner freeze, little tap, beautiful shot. Again, trying to create those angles so later in the end, those rocks can be removed without touching the opposition stone. Very nicely played by Miles. Little tap on that blue, bumped his red back, and now there's a clear path for that blue to exit the house without losing his red stone that's at the back of the button. Team Pierce now electing to come around the other side of the guard onto that one that Miles had just thrown. Possibly tap his blue one back a little bit. Pretty small parties trying to come through there. Very nicely played. Again, changing the angles a little bit with that little tap. Jason Montgomery asking Miles Craig to come down again and just tap those around a little bit, create those angles. These are all set up shots for later in the end. Looking close. Tap that blue one over. Brent Pierce considering his options, electing to try to freeze another one into that pocket, reposition the stones a little bit, create those angles that are in his advantage, in his favor. Asking Kyler just to tap that blue back. That becomes a catcher for any of the ones that are in the 4 foot. A perfect weight on his first one. Just a repetition of his first shots. Again, a fairly tight court, but they negotiated it well on his first shot. Sweepers controlled the stone very well on its way. Trying to keep it straight, get it through that hole. The Rocks have had a hard finish all week long. That one surprised them a little bit. We had a little tick off the center, but he rolled to a pretty good spot behind that blue corner guard. Jason looking at his angles. Team Montgomery thinking that if he can throw some heat here, he might be able to wiggle two of those blue ones out of the scoring area. He may want to just come down and freeze another red into that pocket in between the red and the blue stone. Make it pretty tough for Team Pierce to try to score two.
Hard to find an end when you can't see your time.
Electing to try to hit that blue stone that's just biting the 4-foot into the one on the button and come off that and bump that one that Brent got in behind his blue one out into the open. You'll see some heat coming down here from Chris Bear. Definitely have some weight. Removing two of those blue stones and removing the one off of the button, creating some great angles for Team Montgomery. Nice shot by Chris Bear. Red team now sitting shot rock behind a center guard and another at the top of the 4-foot. The one lonely blue stone is actually right in directly behind another red. So Team Pierce really has some work to do here to try to get back in control of this end. Electing for Cody Johnston to throw some heat again at this, run this center guard back into the two on the 4-foot. Try to remove them both and clean up and give Brent some shots to get to the 4-foot on his last stone if necessary. Not quite the result he wanted, but now blue is second stone. The one at the back of the 4-foot is accessible for a draw. I'm sure that Jason is going to hit, Montgomery will hit this stone, eliminate that blue, but it does leave Team Pierce a draw to the one at the back of the button. A little bit thinner than Jason wanted there on that shot. He would have liked that red stone just to roll to the button. It rolled into the 8-foot. Now it does give Brent a chance, Team Pierce a chance to come down, freeze one either right onto that one at the back of the button or ideally buried shot rock just out on the tee line. Instead, a little bit straighter on Cody. I don't know if he popped that out a little bit, but not the result he wanted. Jason Montgomery's team now sitting 3 red in the house, electing to close off that port and put Team Pierce into a tough situation.
It's not in this one way to use it, but I think that that's what's
Again, this game between these two C qualifiers, the winner of this will move on to play Team Richard in tonight's semifinal on Czech TV at 7 p.m. Team Richard just entered in the building to watch this game. I see Team Schneider's coach, Brian Mickey, also watching the game, lining up, looking at their opposition for this evening. And Schneider waiting for the winner of this evening's game in tomorrow's 2 p.m. final broadcast on Czech TV. Montgomery coming down, trying to fill that hole. It's a little bit of late finish. Perfectly placed. You'll see Team Pierce run that blue back into the one on the top of the 8-foot and try to double the one off of the 4-foot. He probably will lose the one running back, but again, Team Montgomery with 3 reds in the house right now. Team Pierce under some extreme pressure in this 6th end. Judging by the ice, we should see some little speed on this rock. Brent trying to get both of those directly behind it off the house. It'll leave Team Montgomery shot rock. He may elect just to split the house and force Team Pierce to a single in the 6th end. Just the way he called it. Team Montgomery shot rock. He may elect just to draw in behind there. Shrink the scoring area for Team Pierce. Chris Bear indicating he'd love to see it just full 4-foot buried. Leave Brent the button. Put some pressure on. Again, Jason, being a big man, is very capable of throwing the big weight, but also the nice touch shots like this one. Very, very experienced, both these teams. Still out there ways, but we should see some really late finish here. The weight looks great. Cooper's working it hard now. Great shot by Jason Montgomery. Brent Pierce forced to draw to the button for his single point of the 6th end. I do see Team Schneider now in the crowd, so both Team Richards and Team Schneider are here watching to see who they may play tonight and tomorrow in the final and the semifinal. Oh, Brent Pierce drawing against 2 in the 6th end here. Has to hit the button for his single point. back on the way. Sweepers say the weight is good. They're saying a little heavy. Hoping for some late finish here and the speed to come off. Just a little deep by Team Pierce, so a steal by Team Montgomery in the 6th end to go up for 5-3 end after 6. Just got an update on the pot. The pot's not quite as high as I thought it was, so we need you people to get online and buy some 50-50 tickets. We're now at $2,200, which gives the winner $1,100 back to them. curlbc.ca/daily 50-50 /. Help support the curling in the greater Victoria area. Checking in on the women's game over on sheet B. We have the 3-4 game going. Kirsten Ryan, who came through the tiebreaker last night, now in a little bit tighter of a game with Team Bowles taking 2 in the 6th end for a Team Ryan leading 4-3, playing the 7th end. Again, this game live on Czech TV and cbcsports.ca. It's like a little discussion over with the officials. I don't know quite what's going on, but they seem to be discussing something over there with the officials between the two teams. They're smiling, so all good. Little issue with the time clock, I think, is what's going on over there. The head officials are over there. Patty Caldwell was our chief umpire, and Len Chillaback, her deputy umpire for the week. They've done a great job officiating this event and very much appreciated.
Why did we jump up? Why did we jump up?
Okay, Troy Cowan for his first rock of the 7th end. Jason Montgomery. Be interesting to see how conservative he is with this. And Team Pierce definitely now playing the 7th end down 4-2. Will need to get some rocks in play and start to try to get their deuce back. Again, 4 ends left. No time to panic, but we should see some more rocks in play again this end. I'm sure that with the Jason calling it right to the button, Brent's going to elect to throw up the corner guard to try to get something going in the 7th end. Nicholas Umbach throwing the corner guard for Team Pierce on his first stone in the 7th end. Now Troy Cowan trying to throw a center guard on top of the one that he, just ahead of the house, to guard that one that he had thrown into the 4-foot. Sweeper's just looking at it. Not too happy with himself on this guard. He's going to slide into the house. Very similar weight as his first one. Looking for a center guard, but a little heavy. Team Pierce now electing to put another corner guard on the other side. One problem with putting corner guards on both sides, you do start to bring your area that you can draw to that 4 foot down a little bit. Those corners sometimes come into play and make it a little bit tougher to get into the center of the house. 2 nice corners thrown by Nicholas Umbach now in the 7th end for Team Pierce. Team Montgomery will try to throw a center guard. Miles Craig called to do so. Rock on the way. Sweeper's indicating it might have a little more weight than he is after. They need to curl. That one seemed to say a little bit straighter than they thought, a little extra weight by Miles. That might have been about T-line weight, so it hung out there. But they did get a nice result by picking and rolling off of that blue corner. Now Kyler Kleibrink has to run that center back into the pile and removes 2 of them, but leaves 1 red stone in the 4 foot just off the center line. Jason Montgomery now electing to come around that blue guard that's on the center line to lay 2 in the 4 foot. Nice stone. Just on top of the button. May have left a double for Team Pierce here. Kyler Kleibrink getting asked to throw in a little bit heavier weight on this one. Sweepers will try to keep it straight. Make the double on the reds and sit buried. Very close to that blue guard. Nice shot. Okay, checking in on the ladies 3-4 game. Team Ryan taking 2 in the 7th end for a 6-3 lead. Well, after that nice shot by Kyler Kleibrink, eliminating 1 of the red stones, but staying buried behind the blue guard, blue center guard. Chris Bear will try to freeze on that one, shrink the scoring area on Team Pierce, and force them to 1 point this end. Weight looks close, but it's got some finishing to do here yet. Sweeper's letting it work. A little heavier than he wanted. Tucked one in behind the blue stone. Team Pierce weighing his options, wondering if the run back is the best shot here, whether they want to corner freeze another one on that blue stone. Talking end to end with his third, Cody Johnson. asking him now to come down for a conference. The two of them will have a discussion about their options here, and this very important end, being down 4-2, playing 7. Not late in the game, but definitely time to try to get their deuce this end and get back into the game, tie it up, and move on to the last 3 ends. Again, the winner of this game playing Team Richard tonight in the semifinal, and the winner of that game playing Team Schneider from Victoria, with the import Caitlin Schneider from Saskatchewan skipping that team. And both of those games being broadcast on Czech TV live, with Melissa Sligo and John Cullen commentating those games. Brent Pierce electing to just come down and rattle that red one off the back of the button that was just delivered by Chris Bear. Working it hard. Oh, wow. Just off the blue. Brent not happy about that one. Now Team Montgomery has a chance to freeze down to theirs. It's on the back of the button and really put some pressure on Team Pierce. I'm sure they'll hammer the blue one into these two that is in the top of the button after this shot. Sweepers haven't touched this one. I'm going to try to finish it in there. The weight's close. Oh, very nice shot by Chris Bear. 2 beauties. Once again, the local fans going crazy, filling the stands, helping us out. Come down, see this live. There's been great action all week long. Team Pierce now asking for the same weight by Cody Johnson. Just come down and rattle those reds around a little bit. Try to create a pocket back there. 2 red catchers for the Blue Stones. Not opting for the one on the right of the button yet. I'm sure that rock he'll be looking at later. Ooh, this one's curling quick. It's going to hit the guard. Team Pierce will not be happy with that one. Team Montgomery now discussing his options with Chris Bear, indicating that he wants to tap that blue back a little bit, get that one off the top of the button. That's a dangerous stone for him later in the end if Brent slashes that into those 2 reds. I'm sure he would like to move it back a little bit and lay 3 buried in a row behind cover. We saw some great draws by Jason Montgomery this game. So he's got this touch for the button area. I'm sure that this one's going to settle in there just where he wants it. He would love to overcurl and just tap that blue back a little bit. Or freeze another one right down into his would be an ideal shot. Troy Cowan trying to carve it over there with the curl. Working it hard. Straight. Great shot by Jason Montgomery. Again, the local crowd very appreciative. Checking in on the ladies 3-4 game over on sheet B. Looks like Team Ryan up 6-3, but Team Bowles in a good position here to possibly score 2 in the 8th end and tighten the game up to a 6-5. Again, the winner of that game plays Team Brown tonight at 7 p.m., who lost this morning to Team Grandy in the 1-2 game. Team Grandy moving on to the final tomorrow at 9 a.m. on Czech TV. Team Pierce electing to throw the high, hard one. Try to run that center guard back into those reds and see what happens. Wait. Great shot by Pierce. So Team Pierce now sitting 2 with the hammer in the 7th end. That one definitely changed some things around. So I've just been showing the pot now for the 50-50. The daily 50-50 is now over $2,500, $2,530. You can get your tickets at curlbc.ca/daily 50-50 /. Let's build that pot and help support the curling in Greater Victoria area. Jason Montgomery settling in for, looks like he may be trying to throw the double here on the 2 Blues. Definitely wants to come off the inside of that, possibly slip off the back of that other blue one. Looks outside a little bit. Yeah, nose hit. It's going to allow Brent Pierce a draw for 2 to tie this game after 7 ends. Brent was a little bit heavy on his draw on the 6th end, so we'll see if he finds his button weight again now. Again, a good crowd out here this afternoon as Brent's throwing this one to the button. I would estimate we're probably 250 people in here tonight, this afternoon. I fully anticipate a fuller building tonight. A little rub off that one. Brent gets his 2. So tie game after 7 ends. 4-4 tie between Team Montgomery and Team Pierce.
Really good.
Again, between ends here, we'd like to thank the Victoria Curling Club and the Esquimalt Curling Club for co-hosting this event at the Archie Browning Arena in Esquimalt. We'd like to thank the town of Esquimalt, Township of Esquimalt, as well as the Greater Victoria tourism area. So playing the 8th end here now, we have a 4-4 tie between Team Pierce and Team Montgomery. Winner of this game going on tonight to play Team Richard in the semifinals, broadcast live on Czech TV and on cbcsports.ca. Team Pierce electing to draw to the button. I'm sure we'll see a corner guard by Team Montgomery as he tries to get his deuce back here and there in the 8th and take control of the game. Corner guard thrown by Troy Cowan, comes a little bit deep, slides into the house, gives Team Pierce an opportunity to possibly hit it, but they elect to put a center guard up. Nicholas Umbach asked to put a center guard on top of the one that he's just thrown to the top of the button. Sweeper's working it, switch. Again, these athletes could do so much with their brooms in today's game. They can curl it, they can keep it straight. It's just amazing what they can do with the brooms. Nice shot by Nicholas Umbach, perfect. Jason Montgomery asking Troy Cowan just to come back and tap that one in the 4-foot, just to the back of the 4. Shot rock buried. So a little bit light out of Troy's hand. Not the way that Jason drew that up. It's going to stagger the guards a little bit. They do look like, they do look like with a little bit of a drag, that blue would come back directly. So Brent doesn't particularly like that. I think he would just like to come down and rattle those around again. Guard is blue. Stagger the guards a little bit. First stone by Kyler Kleibrink in the 8th end. Asking for a little tap on the guards. Change the angles. Nice shot. Jason Montgomery asking Miles Craig to throw a little heat and try to clean those ones off the front. Not liking that one on the top of the button by Team Pierce. Big weight by Miles Craig, but left the two reds up front. Brent electing to draw another one around into the top 12, top 8 foot. Make that run back a little bit tougher on the redstone. Second stone of the end by Kyler Kleibrink. A nice on his first one where he rattled the guards around. Line looks great. Sweeper's just nursing it in there. Finish it a little at the end. I think you'll see Team Montgomery elect to run that red guard back into the pile here. Looks like Miles got that out just a little bit. Gonna clean things up, rattle things around. Got a little lucky on that one, but he'll take it. Lots of fans in the stands for the local Montgomery rink. Every time a shot's made by them, they cheer, cheer, cheer. Team Pierce trying to replace that center guard. Nope. Hitting the red on top of the 12 and trying to roll into the center to guard his stone on the 4 foot. Team Montgomery now trying for the double on Chris Bear's first shot. Healed the top one. Team Pierce will try to replace that center guard. A little farther off the house this time. But the main thing on the last shot was that he eliminated that red stone. Montgomery trying to hold Montgomery to less than 2 points on this end or a possible steal the way that he's got one sitting still, biting the edge of the button on the tee line. I'd like this one a little bit tighter, the house. Again, it is just behind the tee line, that other blue stone, so giving Team Montgomery the opportunity to possibly freeze on that one and start to build his 2-point end. There's, yep. So that one would have been, Team Pierce would have liked that one to come about 2 feet closer and possibly 6 inches farther off that center line for a better guard. So Jason Montgomery now having the opportunity with Chris Bear's second stone here to tap that one out and roll in behind the blue cover. Nice touch by Chris Bear. Just enough weight to tap it out. Local fans loving it. Team Pierce trying to bank some time. Brent was already down in the hack. I haven't had a look at the clocks to see whether either team is tight on time, but Brent is definitely, whenever the shot's fairly simple, he's already at the other end. So he's banking some time for later in the game if he needs it. Nice little touch just to get it out. Jason Montgomery now electing to hit and roll out into the open to force Team Pierce to try to hit and roll into the middle. Now looking like a blank end in the 8th end. Judging by the ice, Jason's just going to throw a nice control weight, throw this to his sweepers, and let them make the shot for him. They'd like to control the roll, possibly out into the 12-foot area, edge of the 8-foot. A little less weight than he wanted, I believe. He just got it out of the house. Now calling for a bumper wake. Cody Johnson, Brent already down in the hack, trying to save some time for later in the game. He would love to hit this and roll right into the behind the blue one on top of the 4-foot, right on the center line. Just biting the center. That would have stayed a little straighter on Brent than he imagined. Hit and rolled out. That allowed Jason Montgomery to throw this one through. Move to the next end. All skips love to throw this shot. So 4-4 after 8 ends. 2 ends to come in this 3-4 game of the men's BC Championship. Team Pierce looking at their stones, contemplating maybe changing them up. Brent doesn't like the rocks that he's throwing. Having a discussion, a team discussion, staring at their stones. Brent not happy with a couple of his shots, so maybe feeling that his 2 stones aren't reacting the same. Generally, they'll throw that bad stone or the stone that he doesn't like down to the lead or change it with someone near the front end. Looks like they've had the discussion. Nicholas Umbach pulling a different rock out. Well, they may be changing the order of their throwing. Maybe Brent wasn't happy with some of his stones or not quite reacting the same. So key that your skip feels confident when he gets into the hack. So playing 9, 4-4 tie in this 3-4 game. Winner moving on to play Team Richard tonight at 7 p.m. in the semifinal game. Nice center guard by Nick Ombach. He's had his weight all game. He's thrown up some great centers, some great come-arounds. He's definitely come to play this afternoon. Troy Cowan also having a good game. Jason Montgomery calling for him to come around. The center guard just thrown up by Nicholas Umbach. We should see some rocks in play this end. Again, either team. Brent would love to steal this end. Jason would like to get his 2 here if he could. Or blanket, move on to the 10th end. That one slid a little bit behind the tee line, giving Nicholas an opportunity now to come freeze to that one, or just leave it just on top of the button behind the blue stone. This one's staying a little bit straighter. Maybe that's the stone that that Brent had that he didn't like. So possibly there was something to do with the stones. That one seemed to stay a little bit straighter than they expected. So again, the poor leads get those ugly rocks so the skip can have full confidence when he gets into the hack to throw his. You don't want any questions in the skip's mind when they settle into the hack. Troy Cowan now trying to remove that blue stone that stayed out into the open. Just a soft hit. Working it hard. The sweepers. It's coming towards that guard. Oh, just by. Little thinner than he wanted. Moves those reds around a little bit. So now red's sitting 2 in the house. Quite well spread out. Team Pierce now asking Kyler Kleibrink to come down and freeze to that one on the back of the button. Trying to shrink that scoring area on Team Montgomery. Nice stone on the blue. Jason Montgomery now asking Miles Craig to run that blue back, clean some things up off the button. Just a straight peel, move things around a little bit. Force Team Pierce now to guard his. Does look like blue is shot rock from this point, from this vantage point. So Kyler Kleibrink will try to guard his stone that he just threw on his last shot. Just a hair heavier than he had wanted to be, just sliding into the house. May give Team Montgomery a chance to hit, double those off and lay 3. Well spread out. You have to watch the one at the back of the house. It may come off that blue and catch that one at the back and stay there. I'm sure he's going to look at those angles. Miles Craig on his second shot of the end. Great shot by Miles Craig. A lot of clapping and cheering again by all the local fans out here. Arena about a third full. We'd love to see it full house tonight for the semifinals, the men's and the ladies at 7 p.m. Brent Pierce weighing his options. Oh, he's calling the freeze. I'm surprised that he's not maybe hitting that and rolling on top of the other red that's over in the 12 foot, but a little aggressive call by Mr. Pierce, but that's in his nature sometimes. Again, full confidence in Cody Johnston, a very aggressive call. If he freezes it here, it'll change things around on this end. I don't think he wants Montgomery to score 2, but he definitely doesn't want to have him score 3. Didn't quite finish up enough. Very aggressive call by Team Pierce and may give the opportunity for Team Montgomery to make this hit and roll and lay 3 in the pivotal 9th end. 4-4 tie playing this 9th end. Chris Bear trying to make a delicate little tap out and roll to the corner. Might have popped it out a little bit. Working hard on the curl. Working hard on the curl. Little thinner than he wanted. Just rolls out of the house. But again, Red's still sitting too. Pierce looking at his angles. Those rocks are fairly flat at the back of the house, so now electing to hit the one in the 12-foot, trying to roll, even though he won't be shot rock, trying to roll closer to that other red to try to group those and possibly set up a double later in the end. Cody Johnson playing for a little inside roll here on this one. Very nice shot. Jason Montgomery asking for a bumper weight. Roll back and replace that one in exactly the same spot where it was. Sweepers indicating the weight might be a little more than what they were looking for. Working hard on the curl. Nose hit. So there was a shot that Brent was hoping would happen by hitting that one out in the 12-foot, rolling back towards the middle. Now indicating that he'd love to hit this one and roll right on top of that one that's in the back 8-foot. Trying to either set up a steal or force Montgomery to take a point in the 9th end. Checking in on the ladies' game on sheet B. We have a 6-4 lead playing 10, Team Ryan. But Team Bowles does have a rock in the house with the hammer in behind corners. Now electing to bring another one on third stones, another one in behind those two corners. Team Pierce trying to throw the double on that one. Didn't quite get the second red out. Again, leaving Team Montgomery a chance to hit and roll out into the wings on the other side and set it up for their deuce in the 9th end to take control of this game, 6-4. Jason Montgomery just throwing a control hit, giving it to the sweepers again so they can control the roll. Just clean. He's got to be close. Right on the nose, but a very thin double. So Team Pierce electing to not go for it. By the looks of things, it looks like he's just indicating that the hit and roll in front of that red make it a little more difficult for Team Montgomery to get their deuce in the 9th end. Brent Pierce on his last stone in the ninth end, trying to hit and roll in front of the other red stone at the back of the 12. Again, Brent changed his stones this end, so we'll see. Oh, nose hit. So a controlled hit for Team Montgomery to take a commanding 2-point lead in the ninth end to make the 10th end very interesting. Looking for a nose hit. He'll just throw a nice controlled weight, give it to his sweepers. Control weight, curl. Looks good. 2 points for Team Montgomery to take a 6-4 lead after 9 ends. Team Pierce down to needs a deuce here into 10 to stay alive, force it into an extra end. Brent will try to mix it up here a little bit. Team Montgomery will try to make sure that they don't get their deuce. And then Team Montgomery moving on possibly tonight to play Team Richard at 7 o'clock on Check TV. Checking in over here, and the ladies, the women's 3-4 game. Blue sitting 3. Team Ryan up 6-4, playing the 10th end, but Team Bowles laying 3 in the house. None behind the cover, but Team Ryan's in trouble here. Kirsten trying to throw the double on the Blues here to hold Team Bowles to 2 for a tie game and send it to an extra end. Again, that game is live on Check TV. CBCSports.ca. Team Montgomery starting this 10th end, asking for one right on top of the button. I'm sure Team Pierce will throw a corner guard, try to get something going. They need to score 2 in this end. Like Cowan throws one right on the button. Team Pierce indicating the corner guard. Nicholas Umbach has had a great game tonight. Both teams have had good games. Nicholas Umbach asked to throw a corner guard here. He's had great control of his weight today. Team Ryan makes the double over on sheet B. To end the game, sorry. Ryan was up 8-4, my apologies. So Team Ryan, after coming through a tiebreaker, will move on to the semifinals tonight against Team Brown. Team Montgomery electing to bring a second stone into the house on the center line. Team Pierce calling for another corner guard. Time not a factor for either team on the men's game. We have 4 minutes plus for both teams, so time shouldn't come into play for either team in this 10th end. Team Pierce with 2 corner guards, close enough to the center that either could be slashed back towards the 4-foot area. Team Montgomery now asking Miles Craig on his first shot to throw another guard. Another one right into the house, possibly. Tap his red back. He would like to bring the play into the house and not have any guards out there at all. So now red line, 3 in the house. Blue with 2 corner guards, but fairly close to the center line. Either one of those could be slashed back towards the button later in the end. Team Pierce calling for the double on Kyler Clybrink's first rock, trying to roll behind one of those corners. Working it hard to keep it straight. Not quite removing the second stone, but spinning it out to the edge of the 12-foot where I don't think it'll come into play later. Jason Montgomery asking for a bumper weight hit. I'm sure ideally he would love to roll into the 12-foot just slightly behind that blue, but a little thinner than he wanted. Roll it right out of the play. Should see Team Pierce go around one of those corners now. Brent electing to go around the one closest to the house. Sweepers indicating the weight's close. Tyler Clybrink, a nice shot behind the corner guard. Might have popped out the other side. He might be able to see a piece of it. Would give Brent the opportunity to make it better on his next one. He may elect to run that guard back, but again, if he misses this, then Brent can hit the red one that's on the button and roll behind his other corner, creating his deuce for the 10th end and move it to an extra end. Casper's first shot here in the 10th. Missed the run. Brent may replace that corner guard, or you may see him. Oh, he's just going to draw around behind his other corner. Trying to create a 3-point end, which would win him the game. Definitely in a good position to score 2 so far this end on his Cody Johnston's first rock of the 10th end coming down. A little lighter than he would like to see, but he should get 2/3 buried. Jason may be able to chase that, roll in front of the other blue one that's back there, making it tough for Team Pierce to score their 2 and tie the game. Just calling hack weight, so a delicate shot here. He's going to give it to the sweepers and let them take it. Might have popped that out just a bit. It's close. Very nice shot by Chris Bear. Great shot. The local crowd loving it. Team Pierce a little tough now. He's got to try to create things around the forefoot. Gonna have a tough time getting that red out of there without eliminating the blue. So he's got to now create 2 points with 3 rocks to come. Couple of options. He can draw behind that blue corner guard. He could freeze to that one on the button. Try to create something there. Team conference. Again, the winner of this game moves on to play Jeff Richard tonight at 7 p.m. with the loser ending their competitive season. Lots of pressure with 5 rocks to come here in the 10th end.
I don't think there is enough. It's funny when we play different teams that you see on the TV. It's amazing how cool they are.
Long discussion here in the 10th end for Team Pierce. I don't think time will come into play. Can't quite see the monitors from my end, but both teams had 4 minutes plus entering this end, so time shouldn't be a factor with only 3 stones to come for the Team Pierce and 2 for Team Montgomery. They've elected to try to draw around. Around the one that's just off the rings. Hoping to be second shot here. Put the ball back in Team Montgomery's court. Nicely thrown by Cody Johnston. Second shot buried. Team Montgomery has one on the back of the button. 2 rocks to come. Team Montgomery would have a couple options here. They could try running that blue back, the blue guard, and doubling the 2 blues off. They could corner freeze on that blue one, tap it back a little bit. Be second shot. Again, they're just trying to hold Team Pierce to less than 2 points so they can't tie the game up. Only 2 blow stones to come. Corner freeze would be a pretty good shot here, and I think that's what he's indicating. Tap it back maybe a little bit. If you could ever tap it back so that red was sitting 1, 2, and 3, Team Pierce would be tough to score 2 with only 2 stones remaining. Jason Montgomery on his first stone of the 10th end, looking to just come down and tap that blue one back a little bit, lay 2, possibly 3, putting Team Pierce in tough. Sweeper's on it right away. He might have been a little tight. A little tight and a little light by the looks of things. Not a good combination in curling, but he's going to get a little tick off here in his center guard out of it. Not a bad result. And he opened up that blue stone a little bit more. You may see Team Pierce just come down and freeze to that one on the button on this shot, possibly try to tick it over so that he is laying 2, put the ball back in Team Montgomery's court for the last shot for him. Again, a team discussion. Be a delicate shot by Team Pierce to try to tap that one off the button. That red guard is right in the 12-foot. There's only about 4 foot, 5 feet separation between the 2 stones. Rocks finish hard, but you still have to throw enough weight to move it. Earlier in the game, Team Pierce, Brent had slid down to the far end on quite a few of his shots to create this time so that he could have these discussions late in the game.
10 seconds left in the timeout.
Looks like they've decided, judging by the ice, on just throwing maybe a hack weight at this, trying to just skinny that red guard, hit that red off the button and roll another one in behind his blue, which would put Team Montgomery in tough. Again, a great shot on Cody Johnston's last stone where he just drew around that one perfectly, the corner, the blue corner guard, to create this opportunity for Team Pierce. Sweepers like it. Trying to keep it straight. Very small port he's trying to negotiate here. Looks like it's going to over curl. Oh, just rubbed. Oh, so close to making it perfect. Team Montgomery discussing their options, ensuring that Team Pierce doesn't score any more than 2. Talking about hitting the one that's just in the 8-foot in front of that blue, eliminating that blue behind it, rolling to the button area. Team Pierce does have that slash. on the blue that's in front to drive that back into the one on the button to score 2. Great game by these two wily veterans who have faced each other many, many times. Again, it's coming down to the last couple rocks. Team Jason Montgomery electing to freeze another one of his on the button, right ahead of his. It's just on the back, just beyond the button, behind the tee line. If he can freeze it, Team Pierce will be forced to drive that one blue guard on an angle and try to stick it for his second point. Jason's made some beautiful draws this afternoon. Sweepers like it. Line's good. Starting to curl hard here. Just a little less weight than he wanted. Spins it, still blue. Second shot. Rubs that rock at the top of the house over a little bit. Possibly creates an angle for Brent. No, they must have discussed it earlier. Immediately looking at the run of that blue guard into the one on the button. He has to stick it, though, and send this to an extra end. Last stone of the 10th end. Team Pierce down 6-4. Needs to make this run and stick it for a second point, force it into an extra end. Or Team Montgomery moves on to the semifinal against Team Richard tonight at 7 p.m. Rock on its way. Final stone of the 10th end. Needs to run this and stick it. Sweeper's on it, trying to keep it straight. He's close. Oh, overcurled on him. Team Montgomery, local Victoria team. The fans are happy. We'll play Team Richard tonight, 7 p.m. on Czech TV. Join us then. In the meantime, make sure you go online, get your 50-50 province-wide